Let's bust the myth of the perfect sales email right now. Your authentic voice is honestly your biggest superpower when it comes to writing sales emails. And that's exactly what I want to talk to you in today's video is how do you do that? How do you get rid of trying to be perfect and instead let your amazing authentic voice shine through? And hey, if we haven't met, I'm Lise Cartwright, founder of Hustle and Groove, and I have helped over 1,000 amazing creative entrepreneurs ditch social media and make daily sales. So likely right now you fall into a couple of different camps. Number one, you might be thinking, I'm not a writer, so I'm just not going to worry about writing sales emails at all, let alone a regular, consistent newsletter. And also, you might also be thinking, selling feels sleazy, so I do everything I can to make it sound perfect. If any of those things are running through your mind, I totally get it. I used to think the same way, particularly when it came to I'm not a writer. I really truly believed that when it came to writing emails, that you had to be this copywriter, that you had to have some type of literary degree to be able to actually write. Here's the thing, your audience don't care. Honestly, they don't. And if you really sat with that, you would know that it's true because we care about ourselves first and foremost. And I don't mean that from a selfish, ignorant way. It's just how we are designed as human beings. We don't really care too much about what other people are doing, particularly when it comes to running your own business, and even more so when it comes to writing sales emails. So let's figure out how you can step more into your authentic voice and stop worrying about the things that don't actually matter to your audience. My favorite quote of all time that I use as kind of the reminder of not having to worry about being perfect in my emails is done is better than perfect. And it's so true. If you can get into the mindset of, you know what, I'm just going to write this, get it done, send it out, then see what happens. Because at the end of the day, we can tweak and refine even an email that we've already sent because we can resend to unopened and we can try things differently. The best data is actual data, right? The best way to change things, to see if something's working or if something is not, is to literally take that approach of done is better than perfect. But here's the other thing about trying to be perfect in your emails. The more that you focus on things being perfect, the more that you disconnect from your audience. Because I don't know about you, but I'm not perfect. And I don't think your audience is either. And if you're striving to be that way, then you're automatically going to put up a wall. And your audience is going to be like, man, that person is just not relatable. Right? They've got all their stuff together. I made this mistake very early on in my career. When I started being an author, when I started being a course creator and I started coaching, I would hear people saying to me, wow, Lise, it seems like you've got everything together. And it's when I started hearing things like that I started going, hang on a minute. I do not have things together. And so I started sharing that. And so this really leads into how you can be authentically you, even when it comes to writing sales emails. Now, I know that we can overuse that word authenticity, right? People talk about it all the time, but what does it actually mean? I like to think about it as being magnetic. This is your messaging. These are the things that you say again and again and again. So what are those? What are the things that you say all the time that people repeat back to you? And it wasn't until this happened to me that I realized that this was my actual kind of messaging. This was my authentic me. And it doesn't matter whether it's just a standard email. I use air quotes because I don't know what a standard email is anymore because I literally sell in every single email that goes out, right? There's no kind of differentiation between a nurture email and a sales email. They're pretty much the same thing. The difference is that I'm literally just being me when I send those emails. And I say things all the time like, Just because you can doesn't mean you do. It does get to be easy and fun. And if it's not easy and fun, why are you doing it? Right? Things like that. Those are kind of my core messages. So when I'm sitting down to write a sales email, those are the things that I'm thinking about because all of the offers that I've created, everything that I do is designed to empower my audience, to empower my customers to know that it does get to be easy and fun and they get to be themselves in their business, right? Be more you. This is not about being somebody else. Your audience isn't signing up for another carbon copy of somebody else that they've already seen. They want to know your perspective, your thoughts, your way of approaching whatever it is that you're sharing with your audience. So be more you. Don't hide from what it is that you do. Share your stories, share the craziness, share your like freak way of doing things because that's what is relatable. And that's ultimately why people will buy from you. So, the simplest way to write sales emails is to literally record yourself talking as if you were speaking to a friend, right? How would you explain that? Or what's the way that you kind of engage with your friends when you're telling them a story, right? When you're recounting something? I know that for me, I typically start off with some dramatic story, right? It's like really dramatic. It's really stupid, but it's over dramatized because that's just kind of how I like to explain things. And so I will start off that way. But then I tend to circle back about the learning for myself, right? I'll share the learning, the lesson, the takeaway. And then if there's anything that I think that they could benefit from, then I will share maybe a next step or an action step or, an insight, something along those lines. And then I would drop in some call to action. So if I was talking to a friend, this would just be kind of like a piece of advice. If you want this, here's where you can go and find it, right? That would be what that looks like. We don't have to approach selling in our emails any differently, right? Particularly when you think about the other person who is opening that email. If you can do that, if you can step into thinking about who's the person opening the email, how do I want them to experience this? And here's the other piece of this. We don't have to beat around the bush, right? Particularly when in your welcome sequence, you set the tone right from the start, which is exactly what I do. Any new person that comes into my world, in my welcome sequence, I tell them, I am going to sell to you. I'm in business to make a profit. Right? And I don't hide that. And then I encourage people to unsubscribe. If they don't want to be sold to, if they don't want to be presented offers that might actually help them in their own business, then we're not a good fit. Unsubscribe. And I'm totally fine with that. And I even have an entire automation set up to remove people who haven't engaged with my emails over the last 60 days. So it just automatically removes them. So I'm keeping my email list really clean and only for the people who actually genuinely want to hear from me. So the same approach is the same for you. How do you want the other person on the end of that email to experience whatever it is that you're talking about? And know that you don't have to go into some long, big thing to convince them to buy. All you're here to do is present the opportunity. Speak to your ready to buy customers, the people who are after what you have, and then trust that people will buy when they are ready because that's how this works. We are not guaranteed sales just because we send an email with a link in it. And this is why I sell in every single email because I want the opportunity to make daily sales. So if you're not sure what your authentic voice sounds like, or if you're just not sure what kind of stories you might want to share inside your sales emails, I have a training called Magnetic Messaging Matters. You can find out more about that in the description below, but that is going to help you uncover your unique messaging, the things that you say again and again, and then how you can weave that into your sales emails. And then in the next video that is coming up on your screen right now, I'm going to walk you through my 3-step framework that turns readers into buyers. I'll see you there.